How does one colonize being human itself?
To answer that question of how being human itself is colonized, I think it would be important for us to understand basically the key units of analysis in decolonial thinking and the decolonial work. There are three key units in the decolonial thinking which will enable us to make it clear how being human itself is colonized. The first unit is of course being human. In order for colonialism to lay its foundations, in order for the colonizers' model of the world to be a reality, they engaged in a number of processes, some which are really discursive, and by discursive we mean those which work not with our physical presence, but with our imagination, with our thinking. And the first important point to highlight is that in order to colonize the world, one issue for certain was to organize or redefine the human in accordance with the imperatives of colonialism. And that meant physically social classification of human population. The social classification of human population meant that you classify them into white, yellow, black. You classify them into female, male. You classify them into women, men. Of course, if you are thinking not decolonial, you will think, oh, this is a necessary process, social ordering of the world. But in decolonial thinking, we understand that it was not merely a form of social ordering of the world. In fact, there was a hierarchization. You socially classify, then you racially hierarchize. Then you also gender the human relations in accordance with the hierarchy again. So you then end up with what I will call an invisible social pyramid, in which at the top are those who are defined as white. Then maybe intermediate, you will have those who are defined as red or brown. And then at the bottom, you have those who are defined as black. And then you have others who are not even included in this scheme of things, who are kicked out of the human family altogether. And this way of social classification of human population, racial hierarchizing it, and gendering, these three constitute the colonization of being itself. And the purpose of doing that was a very sinister one. In the first place, how do you identify who to enslave, who to colonize, who to confine to the domestic sphere? You will need to use that social pyramid to do that. Then you say those with full human density, if I can put it that way, full human density, those who claim to be the template of humanity. And then you have some who are subhuman, then you have some who are non-human. So the non-human, what you do to them, you treat them the way we treat animals and the trees. You can kill them. And those are the people in the Americas who were subjected to genocide. Then the people from Africa, they were not totally kicked out of the human family. They were pushed down the ladder, the social pyramid, into subhumanity. And because they are subhuman, then they are targets for enslavement. And then you will see what happened to the Chinese, what happens to the Indians, the coolie system. You also subject them to power in a different way because of using that social pyramid. This is why we talk about coloniality of being. But coloniality of being does not work alone. It works also with the coloniality of knowledge. Because if you say some people are not human, some are subhuman, some are non-human, the non-human, they have no knowledge. Cows don't have knowledge. Donkeys don't have knowledge. Subhuman, you then say, yeah, they might have knowledge, but it is primitive knowledge. Knowledge which needs to die. It doesn't contribute to society at all. So you delegitimate, you disqualify the knowledge. And then you maintain the knowledge of those on the top of the social hierarchy. So that's where the coloniality of being and the coloniality of knowledge link. But once we have created the pyramid, you will need to govern it. And the way you govern it, that's when the coloniality of power comes in. You will need then to develop institutions, systems, and the structures to govern that. So this is why we have these three: coloniality of being, coloniality of knowledge, and the coloniality of power. And they, in totality, if they are taken together, they constitute what we call colonial matrices of power. And they run the world up to today.
Thank you so much.